Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. I've just found myself in a flurry of making and I kept saying stop, do it on video, stop, and I kept going and eventually I finally did stop enough to turn the camera on because I've just been having so much fun this afternoon. So welcome, I hope you enjoy this video. I'm halfway through making this little piece of ephemera. I was looking for some book pages to go in a signature in the journal I'm working on, and I came across this beautiful illustration. It's pastel-y pink and purple, and it goes brilliantly with the kit, the Spring Bounty kit that I'm working with and making the journal. So I thought I want to do something with it. So it was too tall for a signature, so I folded up the bottom and made a little pocket on either side, folded it in half. I think the exterior I'm just going to leave as is because I think it's beautiful, it's pretty. There's this cute image here and it says the children gather flowers and herbs early in the morning, and it's a photograph of children, looks like they're picking lavender, and I thought that was super cute. So I've left that and I've just covered the rest with paper dyed coffee. And I want to put a little notepad up the top here so that the image is still there, but it's underneath the notepad so you can flip up the pages and still see it. So if it's not your thing, you know, if you don't want to see the image, well, it's hidden. And if you do, well, you just pick up the paper and have a look. So I've grabbed out just some scraps of leftover bits and pieces that I thought I would make a little flip up notepad to attach here. So I'm just going over kind of what's the right size. That's actually about the right width. I might tuck that in there and just trim this down a little bit. So I hope you're having a wonderful day, my friends. I've just been go all day and it's been great. I finally got past a bit of a block I was having with progressing on this journal. I was kind of had an idea where I wanted to go with the cover in particular, but just wasn't sure I knew how to achieve what I wanted to do. So finally I bit the bullet and thought, well, worst comes to worst, I'll just have to redo the cover. If it all goes pear-shaped, you know, that's always an option. Sorry, I've got a bit of gas trapped in my windpipe or my esophagus because I just took a big calcium tablet like that. They're huge and it's a bit stuck. So I've got a bit of wind sort of sitting in my upper chest at the moment. It should go soon enough, I hope. But just in case I let out an uncontrollable burp or something, it's just because I got a bit of a pill stuck in my throat. Okay, just need to keep checking that I'm not doing it too... No, that's all good, because I want it to hide the top of the pocket as well, because I think that's interesting. So a little bit random, it's not quite straight, doesn't matter. I keep pulling out this bit of ledger paper to use and I just can't bring myself to use it. It's ridiculous, I know, but it's going back in the pile for now. I also pulled out this, but I don't think I'm going to use it. It's the backing from the plastic adhesive book cover. So this is shiny, you can't stick anything to it apart with double-sided tape works. You can't really write on it, but this side is writable. But I've decided I'm not going to include it in this. And then just a little snippet of coffee dyed. We might as well add a bit of that just to finish off our little notepad. Okay, so I'll tear it there. I think the length is fine if I tear it there. But the width needs to come down a bit. Just eyeballing. Just random snippets of interesting papers. Done. Okay. So let's make sure we've got them. Do I want that on the back maybe? No, I don't. I don't. Maybe in there. Just that little one on top. And I think I want to sew that and then attach it with glue into the top there so that it flips up. You can see the image, you can write here, and you can access whatever's in the pockets. I think that should work really nicely. Kind of like a mini folio. So I want to decorate, I think I'll grab out a paper clip actually, just so these are kind of together for now. So I'll just paper clip those together while I work on this. It's a little bit bendy from the glue stick, but it should flatten out. So I want to decorate up these pockets a little bit. They're not very big, so I'm thinking just like a little label. I am working with digitals, the Spring Bounty digitals from the Junk Journal Studio. So that's what I'll be using to decorate with. So let's have a wee dig in here. So we've got sort of purple and pinks going on. Let's see what we can find. Oh, that's pretty. I want to add a little faux stamp down there. She is gorgeous. Maybe her in a word. Oops. Dropping everything all over the place here. I need to do a really big cleanup around my desk. It's just gotten beyond ridiculous, to be honest. It just is so bad. I'm constantly fighting it, and I really hate when it gets like that. But I just don't seem to find the time at the moment to deal with it. And it's not my favourite of things to do, although if I did do it, I would feel so much better and things would be easier. Yes, I just need to get on and do it, don't I? I know, you don't need to tell me off. Right, book page. You know I want a bit of book page. Let's see if we can find one without any yucky words on it. Oh, how about some numbers? Numbers are safe. Let's go numbers. It's only a small bit, but you know, I'm going to layer it up till it's good and layered. And that seemed like a really redundant thing to say, but you know what I mean. Okay, I think I'll take it off there where that blank bit is, and there, so we can get both sides rid of that line. I'm feeling very crowded already. Didn't take long. Barely started the video. Oops, don't put her sideways. Like that, and a word. I think that's working for me. Let's go with that. So what have you been up to today, my friends? Have you been crafting today? Been visiting friends or family, or working? I forget, you know, people go outside the house and work, because this is my work. I work at home. So I forget that other people have different lives to me. You know, you kind of get stuck in your own little world sometimes, or I do anyway. Right, just gonna tacky glue all this because I feel like I haven't got room to grab my glue pages across and use a glue stick right now, because I've got too much around me. Right, so we're going to go numbers, and our wee stamp of the lovely lady. Isn't she sweet? And those got purples, is there? Blues, greens, and sort of pinky, peachy pink shades, but I think it works well with the book page that we've got going on. Bit of contrast is a good thing. Pop you there, little miss. And then our word happiness. Hope I can find something that looks as good on the other side, otherwise I might have wanted to switch these elements out, and I can't because I've glued them down. I'm trying to be decisive, and I hope it doesn't backfire on me. Right, so we've got our book page. We might as well ink that up while we're at it. Right. So I had quite a busy morning. I was sewing first thing. I had some sewing to do, and I got the ironing board. I was trying to think of the words. The last time I got the ironing board out was 2010. Can you believe it? It was so long ago. So I actually got it out for the first time in, what, 13 years? Crazy, eh? And I got it out so I could iron fabric for a journal. Not for clothes. No, never for that. No, totally for journal making reasons. And I actually really enjoyed it. Don't tell anyone. Keep my secret, please. I actually enjoyed the process of getting those creases out of the fabric. It's actually very satisfying. Do we want to go another lovely lady? Don't want that then. What word? Looking for a purple word again. Is that too long? Might be slightly too long. Abundance. Oops. This book page is very glossy paper, so things are sliding around a little bit on me, but not too bad. I think I want slightly different composition, so maybe we go up higher with that. Maybe we go down lower with that. Okay, yes, I'm happier with that. Right, so pop the numbers down first. So yes, I got the ironing board out. I ironed some fabric and I made something I've never made before, and was part of my nerves about getting this cover done. I'll show you the cover shortly, because I looked at different options for the edging of the journal, whether I did paper around the edges or whether I did lace or a trim, and I played around with all sorts of options last night and wasn't kind of overly fussed with any of them. They kind of just weren't hitting the right notes for me. And then during the night I was, chewing it over, mulling it over while I wasn't sleeping, as you do. And then I got up this morning and grabbed out a piece of fabric and started playing around with it. And I got an idea and I was like, but I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know how I'm going to do the corners. I don't know whether my sewing machine will sew it. All the doubts, all the worries, all the fears were hitting me. And I thought, darn it, I'm just going to give it a go. And so I gave it a go. And I tell you what, I am so, so happy. It's not perfect. But having done the process, I can see ways I can improve next time. If I do the same thing next time, which I think I will, because I really like the look. But boy, it was a bit of an adventure. It was a bit of a gamble, because I could quite easily have had to start the whole thing again and remake the cover. And I did not want to have to do that. But fortunately, it's all good. I don't have to do that. Right, So there we go, we've decorated our pockets. Hopefully I've been on camera during that, as I was busy just yammering away. Right, I am thinking about tags, maybe tags for these. I'm just trying to work out where to put stuff out of my way. It's a problem, people. It is a problem. So that I just put out the way, I'm bringing back to exactly where it was before. So I'm going to delve in my bin here of bits and pieces from the kit, the larger stuff, and see. Oh, I forgot I'd made that tag. It's fun when you find all the treasures. Oh, how about that right there? Cool, done. Done. Right, now we want something over here. Just digging through. Sorry I'm off camera, guys, but it's really the easiest way for me to deal with it at the moment. Not. Oh, that's pretty. Could do a wee journal card. Does it fit in the pocket? Oh, it's a bit tight. I could trim it down because it has got that border around it, so I could take a little bit off. It's another wee piece. Oh, that's pretty as well. I think I might go with that one. Okay. So all we need to do with this one is back it. No, that's not big enough. I had a bit of coffee dyed paper floating around. Yep, that will do. Grab out the glue stick. I'm just going to do it in the middle so I don't need to grab out the glue pages. And then some tacky glue around the edge. Has got a crease down this coffee dyed paper, but that's fine. Won't be a problem. So I'll get this piece done and then I'll show you the cover where we're at with that. And hopefully put the signature page, no, not yet. I've got something I want to make for the signature, so I can't sew the signature in quite yet. Maybe we will get that done in this video, I'm not sure. Right, let's trim around this. Sticking to me with the glue. Just feel I need to spread that out a bit to get that glue right to the edges. There we go. Making some usable scraps and some not usable scraps. So I'm just in a very much mode of go, 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 because I can see the way forward. I'm really excited to get this journal well on its way, because it's been a while. It's been simmering. Just having a wee sip of my coffee there. It's almost cold. It's quite late in the day for me to be having a coffee, but I missed out a couple of coffees this morning and was having lemon honey because I had a little bit of a sore throat as well. So feeling much better this afternoon, but I felt like, yeah, I can have another coffee. Right, what am I looking for? Corner rounder. That's what I'm looking for. And some paper to try and make this punch nicely. Probably should wait a little bit, but fortune favours the brave, as they say. I'm gonna be brave and go for it. Brave or stupid, take your pick. You've probably got an opinion one way or the other which one I'm being right now. But hey, I haven't got time to wait. I just want to get motoring. Because I'm excited. And it's fun to be excited about a project, don't you think? When you're working with such beautiful digitals that are just a pleasure to work with, because they're happy, they're pretty, they're just lovely, lovely, lovely images and bits and pieces to work with, and so much in the kit, or in the kits. It's a series of, I can never remember, 5 or 6 I think, kits that make up the whole of Spring Bounty. It's just so much fun. Highly recommend it, guys. And it will provide you labels and fussy cuts and flowers, butterflies, birds, journal cards, tags, you name it, it's in there. It's just got a bit of everything. Well, a lot of everything. And words like words in multiple colours, just amazing. And then there's definitions as well. So much goodness. Right, so that's going to go in there. Little journal card. Do we want to add anything to it? Could add a word. There's other little round elements, or maybe a wee label. Oops, it just slipped out of my hands. Something like that. Just going to pull out a few bits so we can have a little play. Well, that one's a bit big, I think. Put that one back. Put on another little bits. One more neutral something. A little tiny little bit. Okay, let's have a look. I think that's probably enough to see, because it's beautiful, and I just wanna make it my own. Right, that's quite cute up there, isn't it? Just says by email, par avion. But could put it over there, I guess. I don't want things both on the same side. How about a round element instead? Don't want to cover up any of the pretty flowers is my problem. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. Maybe I'm going too samey same, like everything's blue. Maybe going not blue would be the way to go. And I know I'm taking a lot of time to do this, aren't I? About that. And then no. Nope. Nope. Maybe. Even better. So I think those ones are all no. No. Okay, I like these two down the bottom, so I'm going to put those on there regardless. Let's just get them on so I can stop holding them in place, which is really annoying. And I know I'm off camera right now. I'm just inking and trying to keep the sponge crumbs away from my work area. They'll just go in my lap instead. which is fine. Because I find if they drop on my desk and then I brush them off, and sometimes end up with ink streaks on my project. And while that's not the end of the world, it's not intentional, so I'd rather they weren't there. So I am covering up a few of those pretty flowers, but I think that's okay. Put that there. Might need to put this piece under a book or something, or under my craft mat to flatten it out a little bit. Okay, that's cute. Just give it a curve back the other way. And do I want that? Or I could put one of my stamped numbers on. Go for a round. Oh, come on, get off there. Is that the right colour? Quite like the shape. Oh, there's a green one here. That's it. I like that. Okay. Right, put those little pieces back in my tray so they don't get lost. Give this an ink up. And then this piece, this little folio, whatever you want to call it, is done bar the sewing of the little notepad. And then attaching it to the top here. So imagine that's sewn and attached. So we've got this lovely folio. Maybe I'll add a little label to it. Maybe. There's a little mini tag here. Oh, I've just had an idea. Okay. Yep, I'm going to do it. Just bear with me a moment. I wanted my crocodile, but it's in the bottom drawer beside me, and I had a whole bunch of stuff stacked up in front of the drawer, so I had to move everything so I could open the drawer and get out my crocodile. I want to attach this, or do I want to brad after all that? No, I want the crocodile because I want to put some something in the corner. Now, can I do that without going through her head? Don't really want to have to go through her head. Can I position it? Trying to see. Maybe we look at for another one where we're not potentially going through someone's head. I will finish this piece, I promise. We'll get there. We might not get much else done. Oh, it's fun though when you're bouncing from, you know, the inspiration is running and you're just like jumping and, oh, we could do this, we could do that. How about the springtime one? There's no head at peril, and it's got some purple on it as well. So let's do that. So I want to punch through both. So let's take everything out that might just get in the way or get caught up. I want to put a whole, oops, I'm not totally used to using my crocodile yet. I've had it for quite a while now. Where do I want it? Something like that. Let's just go there. That's where it's going to go. And I'm going to put a black one in because my black ones have little washes and I love the look, and it's also the setting that my crocodile's on at the moment. So we may as well just go with that. Grab out a little washer. I had to put my washers in a little bag because they were slipping out the gap between the lid and the base of the container. It's going to be difficult. Just look at me being all sorts of thumbs and clumsy thumbs. Right. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Hold the phone. We haven't distressed it. We need to distress it, people. Well, you don't need to, but I do. Because that's what I like, and the rest of it is distressed. So, there we go. That was close. Close my glue while I'm mucking around here. Right, now let's try this again. And I can hear you going, no, not again. Let's try and make it not too painful. Right, now that's the base, that's the top, so it needs to go that way round. Oops. And squeeze. And I love that. With the washer, love that. Now I might need to put a little bit of glue under there so it's not, and things falling down, not all flappy. Oh my gosh, sorry guys, I feel like this is a bit of a crazy video. Oh yeah, one of those days, but I'm having the time of my life, so I hope that's worth watching, even if it's a bit sort of crazy day. Oh, I love that. Now I want something through there. So let's grab out some fancy yarns that Lisa, just escaped me there for a moment. Maybe some of this purple in there, this purple and this purple. That looks pretty, doesn't it? I don't know how much I need, so I'm just going to drop it through there. Get rid of all those excess little bits. I'm just going to tie that through. Oh, if I can get it through. Come on. And do I want to loop it? Oops, I've lost an end. Where's it gone? There it is. No. This driving me silly. I did this the other day too, and it just, maybe I just need to tie it and try not to loop it. Might work better for me. with the arthritis in my fingers, my dexterity is dropped a lot, and I'm really starting to notice it. It's not so much painful as I just can't feel things the same, and I think I've got it. And then this is very silky and slippery, so that doesn't help. But yeah, it's the dexterity that's got me. That's finding it quite tough at times to make things do what I want it to do, and it's because my fingers aren't behaving. I think I've got a grip and I don't. Right, so I'm just going to tie that and give it a knot. Haha, that's so fun. And I am going to put some glue under here so it doesn't flap around. Just on the end. Doesn't need any more than that. And then you could actually, theoretically, tuck something in there if you wanted. A little ticket or something. I don't think I will, but you certainly could. Right, so now we load it back up. Pop that in there with its yarn as well. This one down here. And then pretend that this is all sewn and glued in. And I will distress around the edges. And that piece is done. And it will go into a pocket. Yay! Super fun. Right, just going to take a moment to clear this off my desk. Right, okay, now I'll show you where I'm at with the cover. Just thought I'd better do a quick look at the time, see how we're getting on there. We're okay for now. Miracles. Okay, so put signature pages aside for a moment. This is where I'm at with the cover. So you may have seen the video where I made this cover from the pages out of the kit. So this beautiful page, which I absolutely adore, absolutely gorgeous. And then because it wasn't big enough for a cover, I collaged some of the other bits and pieces from other pages around the edge. And that's as far as I got on that video. And I did it with matte medium, not matte medium, sorry. I did it with glossy medium, but gel medium. Only glossy because that's all I've got at the moment. And that's as far as I got. It was done onto 2 layers of grocery bag. So brown paper grocery bag. That was collaged onto those 2 bits of grocery paper bag that were layered up. So then I went ahead and collaged the inside. And I did that yesterday with this beautiful digital page from the kit. And then another one around the edges. And then it was these edges, these raw edges where you could see the different layers that I knew I wanted to cover up somehow. And this is what I came up with. And I just think it works a treat. It's kind of bias binding, I guess, which I made myself. So I had this bit of fabric that was given to me. And I cut out the middle of it basically, so it was different widths. So I cut a straight line, I tore a straight line, and then I cut it, and then I folded it. I'll try and give you a little demo. So I had a strip like this. Imagine that's my strip. So I folded that in half, like so. And then I ironed it to get my crease. And then I unfolded it and folded each side into that crease. And then ironed it again, and then ironed it again this way to make sure it was all lining up nicely. And then I wrapped it around the edge of my journal and sewed it with a zigzag. So that's what I did. And I was super nervous. I didn't even know if my machine would go through it because it's quite a sturdy cover. It's quite thick with all those layers, but it was fine. And then I wasn't sure how I was going to do the corners. So that's where I can improve upon it. But in saying that, I'm not unhappy with how it turned out. And I just gave them a little V. And then I went in on the corner after I'd zigzagged all the way around. I went into the corners and gave it a zigzag diagonally across the corner, just so it didn't flap up or anything, and to make it a bit stronger. And my sewing machine didn't like it, because when I was trying to sew, you know, your corner under the sewer foot, it wouldn't feed, so I had to actually do a stitch and push it forward and push it forward and push it forward. But it worked, and it was only, you know, a short little distance, so that was okay. And I think it turned out rather well. I am actually really, really happy. So while I had the sewing machine out, I went ahead and I made a belly band, not a belly band, sorry, a fabric flip. So with a piece of that fabric and a couple of other bits with floral motifs, and then a bit of cheesecloth, which I had dyed with my couple of different pinks and I think coffee coloured ink, and then that green strip along the top, so I made that as well for the journal. And then from the edging that I made here, I had more than enough to do around the edges, so once I'd trimmed off what I didn't need, where I'd folded it, that first fold in half, I just tore it down that line, so I ended up with 2 strips. And then I flattened out the other fold and I turned them into ruffles for the sides of the page. And then I also, this green here was taken from a long strip, so I cut a piece off and then cut it in half to make this narrow strip, and then the bits that were left I made more ruffles for the sides of the page, and I even ironed those. Go me! Haven't touched the iron for 13 years and now I'm ironing everything. So they will go down pages in the journal. So we're making progress. So exciting. Okay, so here we go. I'm pretty sure you saw me do these, or at least put them together, the pages for the journal that came from the kit, the ones I'd chosen out. So I've now selected my pages to go with that. So there's 8 digital pages, and so I need at least 7 other pages to make 15. I may add another couple, just depends. So I've got music paper. I've got a book page here that I had to deal with because it was too big. So I've made a side pocket here, folded over the edge, made a side pocket, put some coffee dyed paper there. Then this side is the book page, and it had space like every month. It's a monthly diary of a New Zealand garden, and at the end of every month it has the date or the month and a heading, my own notes, and then the whole page is grey for you to make your own garden notes. So I thought, I'm just going to leave that as is. That's fabulous. And on the other side is this beautiful floral and October, and so I'm going to leave that as is. It's got writing space, it's white, I don't mind, I think it's pretty. I will decorate this up, you know, and do something with this as well. Not sure what. I kind of like the text that talks about flowers and planting and soil and, you know, all sorts of garden-y things. Then there's this page, coffee dyed page, which I've stamped on. That's inspired by Kerry the Crafter. Super fun. I thought that worked well with the journal. This coffee dyed paper with the banner on top is something I did in this week's Deal It Up challenge. And I thought that would work in this journal with the pinks and kind of, you know, this lacy dye here kind of speaks to me of flowers loosely. I did some bubble dyeing last night with green food colouring, so putting one of those in here. Just this sheet of A4 paper, which is like a stone texture. It's got little flecks. It's a creamy colour. Just pop that in there. And then this is diary page, and this is the one that I need to work on to go in the signature. because it's not ready to sew in. So this is an old, it's actually this year's diary. I picked up a whole bunch of them in the sort of like mid-year sales, when I think the cheapest I paid was 7 cents a diary. Some of them I paid a couple of dollars for, but lots of paper for really cheap. So I've obviously dyed these in the green food colouring, and I'm going to use 2, and I've folded this top one down, and I'm going to glue it in here to make a signature page that's got 2 big pockets. So it's probably pretty hard to see what I'm talking about with, you know, without any definition there. So first off, so all I did is I took one of my pages and I folded them down towards the middle, not right into the middle. I left a little gap down the middle because that's going to be where the sewing into the spine. And I'm going to trim off these edges here because I don't need all that excess in behind. Oops, that didn't tear very well. Never mind, doesn't matter, won't be seen. So same on the other side. So hopefully we can get this done as well today, because that would be super cool. So I'm going to glue those down. Got a little more room on my desk, so maybe we'll be able to do the glue pages and glue it with glue stick. So I thoroughly recommend, if you're after a source of cheap paper, look for the mid-year sales of the diaries, because honestly you'll never get cheaper paper. And this paper is pretty thick paper, it's not thin paper, and if you go early enough in the sale you can get your pick of, you know, the better quality ones. The 7 cent ones I got were, you know, getting down to the dregs. They were the smaller format, the thinner paper, not so exciting, but still 365 or half of that, whatever that is, 100 and something pieces of paper for 7 cents. You can't sneeze at that. And these ones, I think I paid $2 for these, and I absolutely love them. And they've got really cool features, like I'll show you this one. So it's got a box up here, my quote of the day. It's got a little box here for schedule, a to-do list, notes and thoughts. And then every now and then there's like a whole page of either something to colour in or some other, there's no example here, there's some other interesting feature which I thought was really cool. Okay, so I'm going to glue that in the middle. Do I want to glue it, or do I in the middle, or do I want to glue it on the outside and just trust it doesn't buckle on me? I think I'm going to glue it just down beside the middle. And I'm trying to avoid it buckling, you know, when you fold it together and suddenly it's all buckling and looking horrible. I want to avoid that. So now just line of glue either side. And I'm going to pop this right in here, get it right tucked into the spine as much as I can. Push it in. And hope that it's lined up at the top and bottom, but I can always trim it. It's not a big deal if it's not perfectly aligned in there. Yeah, it's not bad. Okay, now that we've got that in there, I'm going to put, actually before I glue it down, I want to ink. I want to ink, and then you'll see a bit easier what I'm achieving here, because it will stand out. Glad I remembered before I'd done that next gluing. Right, should be a little easier to see now. So I'm going to go along the bottom. along that wee short side. Then I'm going to lay it flat and let it fall. So hopefully it's going to not buckle when it's closed. I think we're good. Okay, do the same on the other side here. Oops, don't want that glue in the middle of my pocket, thank you. Okay, and again, just letting it fall down to where it wants to land. I haven't had a chance to flatten this paper out because I only dyed it like last thing last night. Maybe I should have ironed the paper this morning. I've never ironed paper, but maybe that would have been a good idea. Right, there we go. So that's our signature page, all ready to decorate up. Now the one thing with this is it does have these big dates, which obviously are highly unlikely to match with what the time and date that the person's actually using the journal. So I like to cover those over with like a label or an image, but we can put it into the signature and do that later. So I'm super happy that we got that far. It's ready to go into a signature. Right, let's put these pages in order that we want. I'm going to have a wee sip of my probably cold coffee. Yep, pretty much cold. And see how we want to arrange these. Okay, so our first page there, let's pop this one in here. Okay, and then let's go maybe our music. In there. And let's go this stone sort of effect one. I might have to cut that down a little bit, but we'll see. And this one, trying to put something in between all the digital pages. Go this one, I think. And then that one. And this one. I'll revise this, you know, make sure it's how I want it. And then this green bubble dyed one there. So I love the colours in this. It's got all those pretty range of colours. Purple, blue, yellow, green, pink. Did I say purple? Can't remember. But like just all those colours, and they all work together so prettily. Okay, so let's have a wee quick check. So this is only lightly dyed, but it's interesting. Cute little chick. Music paper. Love this lilac. Absolutely stunning. Okay, I'm thinking I'm not so liking how many of this sort of toned pages are all in order, because we've got music's a similar colour, so maybe we want to switch something around. So I've got a lot of coffee dyed. and I don't want the book page and the music to go together. So maybe it is just how it is. And I don't want the two green pages to go too close together, so maybe I might just switch that one and that one. Okay. Okay, and just double check the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Awesome. You know what that means, people? We're ready to sew in the signature. Let's get the stuff out, if I can unbury it. Right, so my pokey mat, which is just a bit of foam packaging. It doesn't need to be on my desk. Right. Oops, I had my box around the right way and I switched it because I thought it wasn't. Right, so we need a needle. We want my clips out. We want my awl. Where's my other clips? One and there. And now colour for our waxed cord. Do we want blue? Or my other choice would be this more neutrally one. I'm thinking the blue. Yep, let's go blue. Okay. So let's clip it in first, so I don't end up with a mess because I knock it or something silly like that. I think pretty much the pages are where I want them. Push it in as much as I can into the spine. I'm probably not going to put lace down the spine on this one because of the edging. But if I do, I can do that. I can glue it on afterwards, so I don't think sewing in the signature is a bad thing. Right now. Okay. Just really making sure it's in as far as I can into that spine. Here we go. Right, my awl, and I just eyeball this. Oops, that one's not pleasing me. There we go, that's better. Okay, so I just judge roughly about where the middle is. Oh, my stomach's gurgling now. Yay! And then somewhere between 1 and 2 inches from top and bottom. So again, just eyeballing. It's the beauty of the 3-hole pamphlet stitch with one signature, is you're not having to make sure they're all the same. So you can just do it the way I just did it. Right, so I need 3 times the height of my pages of my cord. And I'm using a waxed cord. I'm not sure what the cord's actually made of, but it's waxed, and I like the wax because it tends to hold the knots a little bit better. Right, so I did 3 times the height of my pages plus a little bit extra, and I always have more than enough and trim off quite a bit, but I'd rather have more to work with. Okay, so I go in the middle. I'll put this down now. In through the middle, hold on to my tail so I don't end up pulling it all the way through, and then I usually go in through the bottom from the outside first, but it doesn't matter, you can go through the top and into the middle and then back through the middle again, being careful you don't catch that middle thread, because you won't be able to tighten it, and then in the opposite end. So if you go in the top first, you go through the bottom next. So whichever side you didn't do, this one you do there. And then pass the needle back through that bottom one. Just loop it under so you've got a thread on either side, like so. You can put the needle away. And make sure it's nice and tight. Oops, sorry, I think I just elbowed the camera then. There we go. And a couple of knots, and we're done. Okay, and I'll just leave those loose until I decide what I'm going to do with them, whether I put charms on them or put little die cuts on them, not die cuts, punched shapes. Quite often I like putting little punched shapes on the bottom of them. Here we go, and our signature is in. I just had a thought, did I put it in the right way up? Yes, phew. I just had a sudden panic that I hadn't even paid attention to whether my cover was the right way up. But fortunately, it is the right way up to how I wanted it. So we're all good, we're all safe. All my pockets are the right way up, as is my cover. I always love when it gets to the stage and it's holding together, so you can kind of work in it and it's not flopping all over the place. So, oh, and we're at time. I was going to do one more thing, but we've run out of time. So there we go, guys. There's my Bountiful Blooms is what I'm calling it. Bountiful Blooms, made with the Spring Bounty kits from the Junk Journal Studio. So next time you see this, we'll be working on some ephemera. I've already got some ephemera to go in it, but there's more to do for sure. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Sorry it went a little bit long, but I was having fun, and I hope you did too. Take care, my friends. I'll catch you again soon. Bye.